Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Trash Talk and the brand new start of Trash Talk Series 5. I'm here with a very interesting guest today, and today's episode will be a bit different to the usual scheduled programming with Trash Talk interviews. We've got a lot to talk about in today's episode, and a lot of, I know, more controversial stuff to discuss. So I'm joined with CamNuggets. How have you been, man?
Not too shabby, you?
Oh, no, I've been great, man. I've been great. Dealing with Rosanna, it's been fun.
Oh yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've come out looking like a fucking gem out of that, so I'm fine, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to dive straight into it, right? We will get to your channel, we will get to your beginnings and all that good stuff in a bit, right? But I think it'd be disingenuous for me to ignore the current stuff going on, especially because I was in the stream last night. I was there, right, witnessing everything that's going down. And I want to kind of give a rundown, right? We're going to be talking a lot about MrBeast, DogPack, and stuff with the most recent situation. But of course, you've been called out for your coverage where you've like defended like Rosanna and like DogPack, right? Saying like, I think your original title before you changed it was like Rosanna and DogPack haven't done anything wrong. Would you just like to explain your stance quickly?
Well, the original title was Mr. Beast, or it said DogPack and Rosanna got canceled, but it wasn't doing so well, so I just changed it. Just typical
Mhm.
YouTube algorithm stuff.
Yeah, because I know the like original title. Let me get it up because I think Larryx just made a tweet. Rosanna and Dogpack did nothing wrong. I think this was your second video, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of your videos on the recent coverage.
Yeah, I think that
Of
was
the
the
stuff.
first video on
Mhm.
what people were like mad at them for.
And just for people that may be unaware of what your stance is for like what people are mad on them for, and for people curious of what's going on with that, it's the fact that Rosanna and Dogpack downloaded some Telegram chats, and within those chats, they found something that they believed at the time was a 13-year-old. Right? They thought this was CP because Chris Tyson alleged. That's what they alleged when they sent it in there, and then they went and blurred it. Didn't really do a lot of research, put it in a thumbnail in a very clickbaity style, and it turned out that this alleged 13-year-old wasn't an alleged 13-year-old and was actually an 18-year-old Ivanka Trump. And of course, people called them out for, blurring it, putting it in the thumbnail, and how they dealt with that situation, and the fact they've been doubling down. So, what's your stance on all of that for people that maybe haven't seen your videos or the stream last night?
I think putting the blurred thumbnail of it was not professional. I think including it in the video is probably not professional as well, but otherwise the logs are pretty great. It's pretty good content.
I mean, could you understand why people would be like frustrated and like
They're
completely
allowed.
angered by it?
People are allowed to have opinions, but there's also been really bad faith people saying that, oh, Dogpack and Rosanna need to be locked up now. They're worse than Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson, which is all just completely
Well,
bad faith, dishonest people.
I know we had this conversation on stream last night, right? I think, was it
Yeah.
Larryx asking for a few examples? Is that just like, I want to make this clear, I don't want to be disingenuous here. Was that just like a generalized statement you were making when you were saying that? Or have you seen like specific content creators saying that?
About the part of like people defending Chris Tyson.
Yeah, about like saying, oh, we should lock up Dogpack or whatever, like throw away the key, right? There's been like
Yeah,
specific
I've
content
seen
creators
people
or?
saying that. I mean, even what's it called? Drama Alert even posted out like, oh, Rosanna and Dogpack could go to jail for 5 years for lying on an FBI report. Like, things like that are just completely dishonest lies.
I mean, would you agree though that like their report to the FBI, right, saying that like this is what's happened, this is like CP's involved or whatever, isn't true, right? Because like
No,
it turned
not
out
at
to be an
all.
18-year-old,
It's
right?
fact. It's a truth. You're allowed to submit concerns to the FBI. There's nothing wrong with that. If you
Okay.
suspect suspicious behavior, you're completely legally allowed to report something to the FBI in good faith.
And your example of Dramalot, but like you brought up Dramalot there. Couldn't you also say with Dramalot has covered Chris Tyson and like all the bad things Chris Tyson's done and all the bad things MrBeast done, but also, covered all the bad things that Dogpack's done, all the bad things Rosanna's done, Jake Weddle, etc., right? They've covered the spectrum, right? 50-50. Could you argue that they're just reporting on what's going on at the moment?
Sure. But yeah, I'm
Because
also
it's not Keemstar that's running it at the moment. It's, he's got a whole team that make those tweets as well, right? I think there's a misconception that people put out there. Yeah, Keemstar owns Drama Alert, but he's not the one making all those tweets constantly. That's why you will see duplicate tweets, one on Keemstar's thing and one on Drama Alert. because he's got a whole team running that. So you could argue that he's just reporting and his team's reporting on the current stuff that's going on both sides.
That's fair, but you asked me, can I give an example of people lying and saying that DogPack and Rosanna committed crimes?
I
gave
mean,
an example.
I mean, just from what drama I've said and what you've just said there is about like the FBI thing. I mean, they're not lying. He's not lying, right? If you have lied to the FBI, that is like a serious matter and a serious situation for them. Especially seeing with that they had what they thought was CP and they put it in the thumbnail. I think the situation is a lot more complex, and of course, on the stream, I feel like I'm not wrong in saying that you didn't do too good with answering the questions and stuff that came towards you, which sort of like derailed the stream a little bit. Like, were you prepared for questions on that stream of that like
Nope.
validity? What had Himpleton messaged you about? Like what had he prepared you for?
He just said he wanted to chat and ask me questions. He didn't mention about what, the context or anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess with the whole DogPack and Rosanna situation, I personally believe that, and I think everyone believes, I haven't really seen people that disagree here, is that they definitely need to be called out for their actions. I think the fact they've doubled down and haven't issued some type of apology for what they've done, or like really acknowledged that what they've done was wrong, I think it fucks up the case, right? There are people that have gone to them, right, gone to DogPack or whoever, right, and said, look, this is my story with MrBeast, right? That people won't listen to now because DogPack's an untrustworthy source, and so is Rosanna, right? Doubling down on lying and stuff. There are so many lies, and it's muddied the waters entirely, right? Could you say that they've definitely like hindered the case there?
I think with any claim, you should look into them. So if you think it's false and you can look into it, then you should.
But I mean, DogPack didn't really do that, and I know you're defending, like
How
you're
did
one
he
of the
not?
main commentators. I mean, he did the research after to find out that, like, this was an 18-year-old Ivanka Trump
But
when he was getting called out.
that's not relevant. I mean, even H3 can tell you that. The main context was the idea that Ava Tyson was posting in a group chat what they alleged and thought was a 13-year-old.
And that's still bad, right? Really bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's still
criticizable
terrible.
and disgusting. But then DogPack also not like trying to verify those claims of what Ava said properly, right? Because there are two stories on what DogPack did there. There are several stories from him of what he tried doing there. Is also bad, right? Like, surely before posting such a serious claim and reporting it to the FBI, you should verify what you're
Not
claiming,
at all.
right?
Not at all.
Well, you should verify
if you
what
send
you're
me
posting.
a picture of a person and say, look at this 10-year-old kid naked, I report that to the FBI. I'm not going to.
But then would you put
around.
that in? Would you put that in a thumbnail and then claim that that's a 13-year-old?
No.
Well, exactly.
I would just report you to the FBI. But you're saying that DogPack and Rosanna are somehow dishonest for saying, oh, this is what Chris Tyson thought was an alleged 13-year-old. When it is, that's literally what Chris Tyson said.
But then they refer to it themselves as CP. DogPack referred to it as CP.
If it was a 13-year-old, yes.
But that's not what he like. There's literally a clip of him not saying like like, oh, this is like, if this is a 13-year-old, this is CP or whatever. Like, he says that when he's looking at it, but later on in the thing, he just refers to it straight as CP, not alleged CP, just CP. So I mean, there are several lies mixed in there, and how they've dealt with it and dealt with their coverage isn't good, right? And I think even reflecting on you as well, with your whole stances and stuff, do you agree with the criticism that's been launched against you with your defense of them?
Nah, it's opinions.
You don't agree with any of it?
Nah, I just do opinion pieces. I mean, people are allowed to have opinions I disagree with, but when these same people calling me out for my opinions are then going on Twitter, like making threads about me being a pedophile because they like cropped clips out of context and purposely misconstrue them, I'm not going to give them the faith of saying, well, maybe they do have some good points about me. No, I don't agree with any of it.
Okay, take for example, I said exactly the stuff they've been saying, not like all the stuff with like the messages and stuff. We'll get to that in a bit. But I took their criticism that they have for you, and I said that to you. Would you take that at face? Like, would you?
I would respect your opinion.
Like, did you understand why people are criticizing you though? Like, because I feel like, especially on stream last night, there was a pretty disconnect. And I don't know if it just was because I feel like you might have been blindsided by the fact you weren't prepared for the questions, but I feel like there was a pretty big disconnect between when Larix was asking you questions, when Himpleton, when Beckett, and all these other people asking you questions, and your answers and stuff. Was that just you being blindsided or what? Like, I really just want to try and get your perspective on this, but were you just unprepared? Like, why are you like standing so firm in your beliefs and stuff? Like, do you not agree with anyone or anything anyone's saying about you? Like, in terms of the video, this is.
Not at all. I do commentary, I do opinions. I do
Mhm.
opinion-based content. I gave my
Yeah.
opinion based on what I researched. If the law isn't going to look into it to confirm my opinions, then I feel like there's nothing really more to be said.
I mean, could you argue that, like, could you understand why people would like disagree with that claim and say that's like pretty arrogant or ignorant of you?
Yeah, they're allowed to have that opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I feel like it hasn't helped your case with how you acted on stream last night, and like how like everything went down, right? Some of the stuff you were saying about the whole situation at hand. Like, do you like? Could you understand that you might have messed up a little bit on stream last night? Not your videos, just how you were reacting to stuff, like your responses. Like, can you at least accept that? Like, and I know, like, you've said that people have opinions or whatever, but can
Yeah.
you like self reflect and understand that like what you were doing on stream last night probably didn't help you in the long
Oh,
run
it definitely
whatsoever?
didn't help me, but I think it's also really disgusting to be like, "Hey, buddy, come on a call and chat." And then there's 10 other people there. You start calling in other people
Well,
like lyrics and other creators, and
to
then you
give the benefit.
purpose
Mhm. Yeah,
and then
continue.
you
Sorry.
purposely like misconstrue things and then take screenshots of me calling out CP in a server and saying, "Oh, is this you proving that you watched CP?" Like the entire live was just completely dishonest and disgusting. And me being the only person who is, clip farmed from it is just silly.
I mean, to give Hamilton the benefit of the doubt, I don't think he thought that Larryx and all those people would turn up. I think that just happened
Well, I
when they were
mean,
seeing how that was going
Pimpleton
down.
also allowed the Meowie guy to mute me multiple times and talk over me and curse me out. So, I mean, again, I'm not exactly willing to give these people the benefit of the doubt.
And I think as a commentator, you've got your due diligence to embrace what other people are thinking and self-reflect, right? And go, okay, so if all these people are criticizing me, right, and some people that aren't making jokes about me or whatever, or clip chimping me or whatever, right, and they're just giving me their criticism, and like, you've also got the due diligence of self-reflecting and going, okay, I might have messed up here with some of the things I was saying, right? So I haven't seen many people, apart from like the Rosanna, right, like Rosanna DogPack type people, right, agree with you. Like,
I mean, there's nothing really to agree or disagree with. They're my opinions. They're questions that were loaded and
Mhm.
taken out of context. So whatever
Okay, well,
clips you see floating around don't really even help or bother, they don't do anything.
so you don't like your whole takeaway from this is that like you're firm in your beliefs with what you said, and I highly recommend people go and watch the stream and watch Cam's videos to get a full guidance of what's going on. But like what like a takeaway here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're firm in your opinions. You don't really care what like the other people are saying right now, and you're going to stick to your guns on defending Dogpack and Rosanna.
Yeah, if people are going to accuse Rosanna and Dogpack of, breaking the law and committing crimes,
Hmm.
I'll do content explaining why I think what they did isn't breaking the law or illegal, and how, what other people did do in those logs could possibly be
Yeah.
breaking the law and illegal.
Uh, mhm.
Again, my opinions and my commentary.
And to wrap this up, like this segment up before we move on to what else happened in the stream, I do want to ask you again about the title, right? Because like we said, right, the original title was Rosanna and Dogpack did nothing wrong, which then you changed to Rosanna and Dogpack Twitter drama explained, right?
Yeah.
Was the reason for that? Was that analytical? Was that like because
Yeah, it
for
was
some people,
analytical.
Mhm.
Looking back on it, definitely shouldn't have put that title.
Because for some people that would say like maybe you're backing down, that you don't agree with that stance, right? That you don't agree that they've done nothing wrong, that you're slowly changing your opinions or whatever. Would you agree with that? Like, could you see how people could come to that conclusion?
I think what they did from a moral perspective wasn't right.
Hmm.
I can definitely understand why people say it's weird, but for people to say that doing it somehow discredits like everything they've ever done is stupid. So yeah, I stand
I,
by that.
I mean, I guess on that, a lot of people are saying that it discredits a lot of the stuff because how they've handled the situation, how they've brought up other things like the Tea Party chat, right? I mean, like, and how they've lied and all that stuff, right? Like, if someone lies constantly, right, like how Rosanna and Dogback have the past 24 hours about these chats and stuff, right? Like Nicholas Doria's like heavily exposed them on Twitter and streams or whatever. That discredits a lot of what they've posted out there, right?
What did they
You
lie
can't
about?
Well, did you not
So, yeah,
see Nicholas Diorio's streams about
no.
the chat logs and how it wasn't a work chat?
The screenshots that Dogpack and Rosanna have posted showed that there was work discussions in those chats. So again, that comes down to what people consider to be a work chat. So again, that's a technicality that
But you
it's
can't.
not
But
it's not fair
that's.
to call someone a liar based on an opinion like a technicality.
But then you can't say that that's a work chat because that's based on your own opinion. Like you can't say that, right? Because that's all what all the headlines are run with is that this is a MrBeast work chat where alleged CP's been posted, when none of that's true. Going based off what you're saying, that your logic is that that's an opinion, right? That opinion varies from person to person, right? Like
Yeah.
that isn't accurate to the
So
situation, right?
if coworkers who were in that group chat, like Trey Yates, said this was a work chat, somehow you think Nicholas Diorio saying it's not is more valid than someone who actually worked in the company in that chat.
I mean, I'm not saying Nicholas Diorio is more valid. I'm saying the proof that he's posted on Twitter and his streams go against what other people are claiming.
Yeah, but if you have an employee of the MrBeast company in this work chat saying it's a work chat and they're in there talking about work, everyone in that works at the company and MrBeast, your boss, is in there, I think that's a work chat.
I mean, not everyone at the company was in those chats. I mean, I feel like we're splitting hairs now. I think, like, going off of like your logic there, it comes down to opinion, but that opinion isn't fact, right? That varies from person to person. And I think that
So the
discredits a lot of what
statement
they've
that
been.
it's not a work chat is also not a fact.
I mean, there's evidence to
And
corroborate both
there's
sides, but
evidence
there
to
are two
yeah, both
chats.
sides.
There are two chats, but you can't then state that it is a work chat. That
It
just
is. How?
okay, because that just goes against your logic. Anyway,
No, it doesn't. It does
I'm not gonna
not.
do what we did on stream
All right,
last
buddy.
night. What the fuck? Look. If it was anyone else talking right now, right to you, I don't think they would give you as much leeway as I'm
Well,
giving you
because
here,
they'd
right?
probably mute me and just start yelling over me because they're dishonest. The thing is, a lot of people, like what you're doing here, is you're focusing on the technicality of a dishonest person who's already been
I mean,
outed for having like Shadman art and things like that, saying this isn't the work chat, but let me add all my coworkers and we're going to
I
talk
mean,
about work in here.
I'm I'm just focusing on your logic. That's all I'm focusing on. And I mean, can't you see the side that them lying to a certain degree,
That's not a
right?
lie.
Okay, just hear me out, right? That them lying to a certain degree discredits other people's stories, right? If you come up to Dogpack and you go, okay, this is what's happened to me, right? Can you tell my story? They've told the story, right? Dogpack is their voice piece. And then it comes out that Dogpack has lied about other stuff or manipulated stuff, or, this piece of evidence was wrong, right? Then that sort of discredits what Dogpack was saying from that person. People aren't going to immediately trust that because he's an untrustworthy source from that. Do you get
Nah,
that stance
nah.
or not?
Like I said, you should look into every claim.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue with
Well,
you on it, but
let's use the Shadman art for example. That Shadman art of like the girl putting the gun in her mouth with the fidget spinner. Everybody
mhm.
kind of just everyone just kind of accepted the fact that that was lolly art. But what if it wasn't? Does that mean Dogpack's a liar?
I mean, I feel like that's like a completely different situation. I
No, it's
don't think
not.
that logic
No, it's
can
not.
apply
No, it's not. It's an
because
opinion.
your own logic is flawed here.
It's based on an opinion. If 90% of people saw that art and thunk it's lolly, 10% say it's not. Does that mean that to the 10% that don't think it's lolly, Dogpack's a liar?
But this is the issue we had on stream last night. Is you would pose a standpoint, but your logic was hypocritical with things you'd previously stated. Right, this is the issue we had last night on stream, and I don't want to harp on it too much, right? Because we've already gone over a lot of this on stream. And the proof's in the pudding here, right? For the audience and viewers to take away what they want from this. But I do want to move on because I do not want to constantly loop here.
Yeah, let's go.
And do what we did on stream last night. It's counterproductive. But I do want to talk about what happened after the MrBeast topic with those leaked messages from the Discord. Tell me, man, what's going on here, right? Like I'm
You
seeing
mean the
messages
ones of
about
me
like sniffing
that I like?
farts and stuff.
So
Well,
if I say to someone like as a joke, sniff my fart, what is that?
I mean, there were a lot of
That's
messages there. Like there
yeah,
were
you
a
can go
lot, a
through them.
lot.
If you pulled them up, we can talk because it's funny. To me,
I,
they're all funny. You know, saying, "Where's the BBWs at? Where's the fat girls at? Need me a fat girl?" That's funny. Those are
so
jokes.
all of those
So
messages, right?
somehow those memes and jokes and saying funny little comments is bad or like, worth
Well,
calling me a degenerate for, but like
I'm not calling you
posting
any of that.
I'm
I
not
just want to
talking
get
about you. I just mean in general.
okay. I just want to get an idea of like what's going on here, right? So like, let me paint you a picture, right? So you've
All right.
joined this like this server or servers or whatever it was, right?
Okay.
You've put your profile in, right, with your age,
Yeah.
your name, whatever, right? You've done this, like I think it's pretty funny, right, that you did this on your YouTube account, right? Like your YouTube Discord.
Well, that was from back in January, like
Hmm.
before I really kind
Yeah,
of
I know.
popped off on
I
YouTube,
just find it funny.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
funny. I mean, I got nothing to hide though. I'm an
and
adult man with
mhm.
other adult people, you know.
And you've gone in here and like what is your perspective here? Are you in calls saying these messages trolling, or are you just on your own trolling? Or because this is what you're saying, right? You're claiming that all these messages were trolls. They weren't like actual like okay, like I want to date a woman from here, right? These were just all troll messages.
No,
So,
so there's two. Apparently one leaked from this gentleman's club, which was a
uh-huh.
server for only 18 plus people. You had to verify with your ID to join.
Yeah.
And I did my introduction saying who I am, what I prefer in people,
Uh-huh.
and you can just do whatever you want. It's kind of like a little swingers club of like consenting adults.
And were you trolling in there, or were you
No,
genuinely just trying to find someone to
I
you know?
mean, I just was in there to have a good time.
Okay, because I mean the messages are out of context. They are just beyond
Well,
words.
some you have to pay attention to what servers the messages are from. Like, for
Hmm.
example, if I was talking sexual in a server full of all 18-year-olds where everyone consented, that's a lot different than me talking sexual in a public server full of all kinds of people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think knowing which Discord each chat you're referring to is important.
Okay, so I've got some messages from the lounge GC, right, or like
Yeah.
in the server. I'm assuming you know what I'm referring to here, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the screenshot with any BBWs on today and all the dates, right? So we've got the 25th, 24th, 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th, and the
Mhm.
2nd, right? One of them is from the 11th, so one of them is from 2023.
Yeah.
Some of them are from 2024, and it's all any BBWs on today. Where's the BBWs at? Hey, where's all the BBWs? And these are all separate messages, by the way. I want to like be
Yeah, yeah.
transparent there. Any BBWs up? I feel like this server is going to be lots of hot BBWs hitting on me. Any BBWs? Any BBWs? Were
Yeah.
those all trolls?
Yeah, that's from the server called
Mhm.
Edgy.
And was that the same server where all of this is coming on from, where this message came from? Yo, mods, there's a little kid showing his butthole on calls.
Yeah,
Okay, and
that's from Edgy.
what happened there, right? Because
So so I don't understand how this is being misconstrued. It's a server that is public. Anyone watching and listening can literally join now. It's a public server. Basic rules are, don't be, disgusting. Don't show porn. Don't show nudity. You're allowed to make silly jokes and talk about BBWs. You're not allowed to get naked, especially as a child. If I'm in a public call, a child joins, I leave the call and say, "Hey, mods, there's a kid showing their butthole." I don't understand how that's being misconstrued as me somehow liking to see a kid's butthole by asking mods to take care of this problem.
Mhm.
Do you see how
well,
that's being misconstrued?
there was a message that you posted in chat. That this is just another thing that like was posted alongside when we were reading these messages in stream. You put, yeah, that's a server called Edgy. A kid joined and was flashing, so I called a mod. The context of me calling them was there, right?
Yeah.
Um, and now as well, right? So when this was happening, right, you reported to the mod, right? Did you
Yeah.
leave this server? Because that would be my first thing. Is like, okay, there's a kid flashing in here, right? I don't know how long it's going to take for the mods,
Well,
but I don't
no,
want to be
that's
associated with
not
this.
the server is public, which means moderators will come
Uh
and
huh.
do this. If someone flashes or like does something illegal, you report them to Discord and the mods. You don't leave
But
the
did you?
server. It's not a common occurrence that a kid would go in there and flash.
But at that point, I would go. The fact that this has even happened, I'm going to leave. I'm going to distance myself, right? Like, did you at least like leave all calls? Did you just like log off
Yeah,
there?
I left that call.
Uh, did you move to any other calls in that server?
Yeah.
Can I ask, like, just from a perspective, right? Like, from an outsider's perspective, right? Like, not a malicious one, not trying to like paint you in any light, right? But why wouldn't you have just like logged off the server completely, right? Not even have
So
left
let
it, just like
so
come
if
off
you're
it.
playing a video game that allows you to
Well,
like trade images or something, and someone sends you child porn, Would you
Well,
report it and then uninstall the game, or would you just report it and go find
but
another match?
in
It's
this
the exact same
instance,
context. No, it's not.
it,
You're gonna try to switch it up. That's not a
well,
fair
I haven't
comparison.
I haven't even said what I was about to say. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's hear
Uh,
it.
all I was going to say, right, is you're in a Discord VC, right? This is public
Okay.
server, like you said, right?
Yeah,
Public,
public
right? Not
server.
private, whatever. You've you've seen a kid flashing, right? You go, oh fuck, right? I'll report it to a moderator, right? I put yo right in all caps, right?
Yeah.
Like reported it, right? You've then moved to a different VC in the same server, right? And
Okay.
the one that everyone can access, right? What stops that
Okay.
kid from then just like joining, right? Surely you would just leave all VCs from that server, right? Not even just leave the server, just leave all VCs from the server to prevent you from possibly seeing anything like that, right? More in that call, right? Because that kid can just move over.
If you're trying to imply that I am in that server to see a kid's butt, is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm implying. What? Okay,
Then
man.
what? Because
You are making
your
yourself
point,
look so much worse, bro.
No, I
What
think
I'm-
your point is dumb as fuck. Honestly, your point's fucking
what
dumb.
I'm okay,
You're
what I'm saying-
saying you're implying that like if you own a server, or like if
No.
you're ever in a server that you've been in for a while,
Cam.
and some person does something illegal in there that can easily be
Cam.
handled by mods or Discord, you would just leave the server. You wouldn't.
Cam, you've watched my content for a while now. I'm not trying to paint you in a malicious or degenerate way, right?
You definitely are. You
I'm
definitely are. Because me answering this question saying I left the call and reported it should be more than enough, but you're being
You
dishonest.
moved-
I think we're done here. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No. I'm in disbelief. Okay, right. So my okay, my stance was going to be here, right, is the fact that, you've seen this horrific thing in AVC, right? You have seen the fact that this child's doing this thing. This is disgusting. Report it, of course, right? Do all that, all the things you need to. But you wouldn't then join another public VC in the same Discord, right? Because that kid can just move over, right? You don't know if that kid will, but you just wouldn't take the risk. You would just like log off, right? You would probably, if you were sensible, leave that server as well to avoid seeing anything like that again, right? You would just take precautions. I don't know why you're in a public server, right? You see a kid flashing and you report it, and then you just move from a different VC, right? You just move into another public VC where the kid can just move with you. I don't get it. And here he's trying to paint the narrative that I'm trying to paint him in a malicious and degenerate way. I'm just simply asking a question. And I think it's more telling that the fact that, he couldn't answer the majority of my questions. He was being hypocritical, he was avoiding, and he was trying to spin it that I had this negative narrative going into this. When I definitely didn't. I was just trying to ask some simple questions, pose some things to him, not coming at him in a particularly aggressive way. And even then, he still left the server. He still left the call. This is probably the third TrashTalk spurg out where someone's raged or left. But yeah, I don't know why he thought I was trying to paint him in a malicious way. I was trying to hear him out, get both sides of the story. And in the end, he's just proved what everyone else is saying in terms of the fact that, he can't debate, he can't argue. I'm not even trying to debate him here. He just can't answer questions. And bearing in mind, he had time to prepare for this. I messaged him last Friday. It's now at the time recording Wednesday that this would be happening. Then on stream last night, I shot my DM and said, you still up for this? I'm definitely going to ask you questions. I'm not going to shy away from this. And he said, yeah, that's fine. He had plenty of time to prepare. So yeah. Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed in how that went and how he conducted himself. Trying to say that I'm framing him in a malicious light when I'm just saying what happened. He agreed with me, right? He agreed that, that's what happened, that's what's going on, right? And then when I say something that he doesn't particularly like, he tries to say that I'm framing it in a malicious way. I honestly thought that CamNuggets, of all people, had more integrity than that, but I guess not. I guess not. I mean, he's a guy that's been watching my content for a pretty long time, and apparently, he still hasn't got the frame of character I am. But that was the CamNuggets interview. I honestly didn't really expect him to leave midway through. But if you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I've been your host, Samuel. Cam, do you want to do the outro? Oh, no, sorry. He left midway through. So, yeah, I've been your host, Samuel, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Trash Talk.